Let's fucking go. You are listening to the Outlaw Apostle Podcast. I'm your host, Troy Neff. I'm the fucking guy.
Whoa! Who knew I would make it this far? They hated, they never believed me. Yeah, I would never drop the ball. I know I make it look easy. Yeah, Mayweather with the defense. I don't care what a critic got to say. I got them picking up the pieces. That to me, you really playing with your life. I'm about to come and run it all back. I'm the new era, about to snap back. You ain't fitting for it, cause you all cap like. Hold up, I shoot my shot, wait, hold up. I'm really about to run this go up. You know it's all net when it go up. Ain't got no other plans, you don't need to understand.
And welcome, people. It is Wednesday, hump day, and this is the Outlaw Apostle Podcast. I'm your host, Troy Neff. I'm the fucking guy, and joining me to talk to all three of you behind the controls, making it happen, and we love you three too. Good morning, Bob, and good morning, Leo. How are you this morning, brother?
I'm doing pretty well, man. How are you doing today?
I'm a little fired up today. Little fired up. Yeah. I'm feeling pretty good. And on the couch, you might have to get an extinguisher since I'm so fired up. Be ready for that, Mikey. Mikey G on the couch.
Yes, sir. Good morning. Sorry, I'm not in my my cheeriest mood after, the tragedy that happened last night to my Cavs. So
Blowing a 23-point lead when there's 3 minutes left in the game.
nobody fucking asked you. Nobody
Was
fucking
it
asked
really
you.
just 3 minutes left?
No, it was
There's
7 minutes.
7.
It was like
But still,
23.
that's a lot.
At one point, they have those sliders where it shows that like you can like move the slider around and see at what point the percentages the team will win a game or lose a game.
Yeah.
So at 7,
Like an election.
yeah,
They do that.
at
That's so
7 minutes and 49 seconds, the Cavs had a 99.9% chance to win, and they still lost. So I don't,
Dude, it's Cleveland.
yeah, I know.
Not just the Cavaliers. It's Cleveland.
Yeah.
If there is a way to find a new way to lose, Cleveland typically finds it. Now, usually we say that about the Browns, but holy fuck, dude.
Yeah, I was like so excited how they looked, and then they
just
just
gave
completely they just let their foot off the gas. They gave the Knicks an opportunity to come back, and once you give them belief at home, it was just downhill from there. Like I saw there was a specific play that I knew from the second that play happened, I was like, we're fucked. I was like, we're completely fucked. Their whole, they were demoralized. You could see it in the way they played. Like, they couldn't make a fucking shot. All the shots that we were shooting, they were literally going halfway down the rim and going right back out. Like, the announcer, Mike Breen, on the game winner, that Sam Merrill shot at the end of the game, he literally was screaming bang, like he does when shots go in. And he said bang, and then it went back out. He's like, oh. And I was like, yep. I was like, when overtime, I was like, we're fucked. It's over.
Yeah. Well, it's hard then, overtime,
Yep.
when you've lost all that momentum.
Well, it might not. I don't hope I'm not exaggerating here, and it really depends on how they respond in game 2. But that game alone could have cost us the entire series because that's demoralizing. I mean,
Yeah.
that's a huge blow to go up that much and then blow that lead on the road when you were that close to stealing a game. Like,
Yeah.
we'll see how it works out. But
You have to be like a goalie
yeah,
in soccer or hockey, even to just when sometimes you get scorched for 6 scores.
yep. Gotta have a short memory.
You just gotta just block it and go. And if you're able to do that, you have a chance. If you're not able to do it, you're gonna lose game 2, and you'll lose in 4 or 5 tops.
Yeah.
That's how it'll go.
So I think it'll.
But I know that feeling you're talking about.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
Yeah, I had that feeling last night watching the Mercury play the Toronto Tempo.
Yeah.
The fucking Tempo. And I should do this while we're talking about this.
Are they one of the new expansion teams?
Yes.
Okay. I say it sounds like an expansion team name, honestly.
Well, it's a terrible name. I don't know. I don't know if maybe the Ford Tempo was made up there at one point. But,
I don't know.
But the only thing I think of when I think of Tempo is the Ford Tempo, which was not a very good car. It was right above the K car. I don't know if you ever heard of K cars.
No.
Okay.
I don't know what K car is. Sorry.
Well, do you know who Lee Iacocca is?
Yeah.
Okay. Lee Iacocca created the K car,
Okay.
and with Chrysler and the comeback, and they were terrible cars. Everybody knew he turned that company around with terrible cars because he would do things to save money, like make each car like a couple inch shorter.
Yeah.
And they were able to like fit one more car on on a train, on the trains, on the
Yeah. When they're shipping them out.
when they're shipping them out, stuff like that. Yeah, exactly, Leo. It's crazy. But what I have a picture of last night that I meant to send that I didn't is, well, obviously last night, and you know this with the hockey too, whenever a U.S. team and a Canadian team plays each other, they play both national anthems. And that's what happened last night, is they played the Canadian national anthem, and they played it first, which I think that's right. You know, you want
save the best for last.
Yeah, right. But we had that discussion. There it is, Leo. We had that discussion about the mercury going off the court. So I did a little more looking into it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's actually more of a whole WNBA thing, where it's kind of, I'd say, reversed, where they don't make you do it, but to try to not create a spectacle on the court, the teams go off the court during the national anthem. But if you don't want to, if you really don't want to, you don't have to. And that's what happened, in that first game. The Las Vegas Aces, they just stand with their hands over their heart, but they did stay on the court and they did huddle, and they stayed out there for the national anthem in total respect. And I remember, I know of one other team that for sure stays out there and even did throughout the controversy. And it kind of makes sense. And it's the Indiana Fever. And that was even before, Caitlin even, that was even before Caitlin. But yeah, here's the video last night, just a quick 10 seconds for you. And this is the Canadian team out on the court, and our team is in the locker room. And this is the Canadian national anthem. It's dark in there. That's why you get that reddish tint on the video.
Yeah.
This guy had a voice. Yeah, it was just a quick 10 seconds. I just wanted to show that they were there. And they stayed out there for the United States national anthem, too.
Yeah.
And what's interesting is when I was doing that research, you have, like I said, the Indiana Fever that did it. And then it also told me that Griner, who was big on the whole kneeling thing when it first started, that when she was released from Russia, and she spent some time there, like she was not in a cool prison. It was a shitty prison. She was not treated well. And you may say, good, fuck her, whatever. That's not my story. My story is she was not treated well. And she came back, and most people don't know this. I didn't know it. So if I didn't know it, I'm guessing most of you motherfuckers don't know it either. That she actually said, I even asked Grok a second time, or whatever AI was using, are you sure that's really true? And it said, yeah, it really happened. That Griner, when she came back, she made public comments.
Yeah.
Because she was asked about the fact that she did stand. So she was on the Phoenix Mercury probably at that time.
Yeah.
Because she's been with several different teams. But whoever she was with, she stood. And why they're continuing this stupid game now, in 2026 is just stupid. It's a bad look.
Yeah.
When, marketing wise and stuff, it's just a dumb look. We had 9,000 people there last night, and that's the least of any of the games so far. And we've had anywhere from 9,000 to 11,000. And we'll see. And I'll let you know. Our big games will be against Dallas.
Yeah.
Of course, the Wings because of Paige Beckers, and the Indiana Fever, and, maybe the Atlanta Dream and a couple other teams. We'll see how it goes, where you'll get a few more and it'll be a bigger game. Tuesday nights is not a big night anyways.
No.
If you want to go to an NBA game, if you want maybe a cheaper ticket for an NBA game, go on a Tuesday. And Leo's dude was there last night for a second time. I had a picture of him I was going to send, and I didn't.
Who is it?
Dylan.
Dylan Brooks. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
Dylan Brooks was there.
Okay.
And that's like 2 consecutive games he's been there.
Oh, okay.
So he's been there twice hanging out. And then there was some other, bench player that was there like the last game. But my whole point is why do they keep doing this at this point? But Griner, who came back, who had the experience that she had, and, she was a big leader in that whole kneeling thing, at least as far as the WNBA went.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Who said, you know what? After my experience, the flag hits different now. The meaning is different. That it allows me, she just like a light bulb went on, that we all think is common sense. It's the national anthem. It's our flag. It's this country. It's our Constitution that allows people to protest and do these things. And you're not allowed to do it elsewhere. You're not standing, when you're standing for the national anthem, you're not saying that everything about the United States is perfect. Because it's fucking not.
Yeah, of course not.
It's just like a human being.
Yeah.
We're sinners.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm a saved sinner. And we're a sinning nation. And we have to decide if we want to be saved as a nation or not. I think that's kind of, in our future, and certainly something that is kind of under the radar, but it is going on because you have a younger generation that is tired of the bullshit now, and they're like, this stuff is just stupid, and y'all need to get your shit together, and we need to figure this out because our future doesn't look very fucking bright,
Yeah.
and you're all are focusing on the dumbest shit in the world, kind
Pretty
of thing,
much,
right?
yeah.
You see what I'm getting at, but for Griner to come out and say something like that, and that it hits different, and that she's going to stand for it, you figure more people would follow suit, and I don't know, I don't like it. I posted it on my Facebook. None of my people like it.
Yeah.
If someone commented negatively, it had to be because I do put hashtags now because I do the reels and I put it on Instagram, and then it also comes on my Facebook. And so I do attract, even on Facebook, people who are not friends or on my friends list. Not everybody does, because y'all have all your settings on private. I keep everything public, so I get blasted every fucking day. Okay. That's the game. And the iron in the shield that I wear is very, very thick. All right. It is the armor of God, and you people can fuck off. But I'll have some more about that. But yeah, it was interesting. So I did grab that video that just showed that Canada, they stay. And then I wasn't happy, obviously, at the end of the game, because Canada won. The Toronto Tempo won. They had some ballers on that team for being, I tell you what, here's a positive. Let me give you a positive about the WNBA so they don't hate me. Because I tag them in this shit. I tag the Phoenix Mercury too. I'm waiting for somebody to come up to me during a game, that's in a suit that says, Troy, you mind stepping with me and somebody wants to talk to you?
Hopefully, I mean, that's the goal. However you get their attention.
Cool. I'm cool with that. I'll have a conversation with you. I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm waiting for that to happen, though. And I said that last year after all that bullshit that happened. And I said that to the head of security, and because I had said some things on X, and I'm like, dude, nobody watches my X. Nobody cares. He goes, some people did.
Say if it makes the rounds, it makes the rounds. I mean, it don't matter. Any tweet can go viral.
Well, that wasn't even viral. It was just they'd rather not.
Yeah.
That was not one they would want to go viral, in doing that. But yeah, the people that are, my kind of people don't tolerate that stuff. And most of them wouldn't do what I'm doing, which is they would just walk out. They wouldn't even go to a game. They would just, as they said, and that's my point about growing your audience, because not only do you need me to be at the games to grow your sport. You need more of me, and the people that are more of me, birds of a feather flock together.
Yeah.
My flock is saying, fuck that. If they pull that kind of shit, I'd never go to a game.
Yeah. I mean,
They might say, well, Indiana stays on the court. We like Caitlin Clark. We're going to go to a game. You know what I mean?
yeah, no, I agree 100%.
But that's it. Y'all are fucking it up. This biggest opportunity ever.
Yep.
And don't just think because you got this one TV contract that everything's going to be
all
okay.
fine and dandy. No.
Yeah.
Seems like a lot of people might benefit from spending a few weeks in a Russian jail cell. Then, if it changed her, bless you, sir. If it changed her mindset, like, who knows? Maybe send some of these.
Yeah, but I didn't know that. Did you know that?
No, because it's not as grabbing. Obviously, her commending the flag is not as popular, I guess, for the media to talk about it rather than condemning the flag.
I think I agree with you, but I think that's absolutely wrong of the media.
Hell yeah,
because that is a good story. That why did somebody, like her? Why did they change their mind?
Yeah.
And she had a good reason to change her mind, but she didn't have to. And again, who made that happen?
What,
wasn't it Trump that made that happen?
When she got back?
Yeah.
I thought it was Biden that released her. I thought that was during the Biden administration.
Let's look that up.
I mean, I'm still there's still one issue with it, is that the fact that we couldn't just get her back. We had to trade the Merchant of Death for her, which might be the most lopsided
we
trade of all
traded
time.
big shit for her.
Lopsided trade.
It was a lopsided trade.
And
100%.
we got
so it
fleeced.
probably was Biden.
Yeah, instead we got fleeced.
But as I said, I'm not for doing that. It was Joe Biden.
Yeah, for Victor Bout, a.k.a. the Merchant of Death. You know what the fuck you have to do to be globally known as the Merchant of Death? Like, what the fuck is that? Like, I understand we got her back. She's an American, but damn, we couldn't have sent them anything else. There was nothing else possible. Like, that was the only thing.
And he didn't get, there was another guy was there that Trump did, I think, bring back later on. I don't know if it was a teacher or something. There was somebody else we really wanted back at the time, and I don't remember his name.
Yeah.
And I think that did finally happen, but we wanted it as a part of this deal and couldn't make it happen.
Yeah,
that would have been a little more fair.
Yeah, absolutely. And I do know, the teacher,
The other side doesn't care about fairness.
No.
They care about whatever their side is.
Yeah.
Russia first.
Yeah. I mean,
right?
Well, where's all the why don't we condemn them? Was there RAGA? Is that a thing? Like, or MRAGA, make Russia great again? I don't even know how the fuck it would be. But where's all
MRGA?
Where's all the criticism of them? Why aren't their borders open? What the fuck, man? You guys are pieces of shit. Let people in. No, it's just us. Only us.
It's crazy. But yeah, I just thought that was interesting. And I still think it's a story and I still think it's important, but it's important in the fact that you want to grow the sport. And this is what the fuck you're doing.
Yeah.
Grow the sport.
They can't get out of their
Quickly
own way.
on the game. My girl didn't do really great. No chick, Yo-Yo, didn't have a great game. She had some decent moments, but she made some mistakes defensively. But she's learning and she's picking it up quick. But dude, she kept shooting though.
That's good though.
She was like Jordan missing. She kept shooting. She didn't let that stop her.
I'd rather somebody keep shooting than get in their head about it.
But you know what? The whole game, it still boiled down to this for both teams. And like I said, I was going to say this. I was going to tell you the one thing the WNBA has gotten right. I didn't tell you what it was. Expansion. One of the expansion teams last year, out of the two, which I believe was Golden State Valkyries, made the playoffs in their first year.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. The Tempo last night were 2-2. They're now 3-2. We were 2-2. We're now 2-3. And we went to the finals. The Mercury went to the finals last year. But they had Mabry, who's a really, really good player, but she plays hard. She was one of the white girls that got into it with Caitlin Clark. Okay. And she fouls hard and she's a little bit
chippy.
yeah, I don't know if I call her a dirty player, but she's
Like a Draymond
and
Green.
she got away with so much every shot. Forearm shiver, pushing off, but she hits the shots though. And Sykes is on the team. And, she's not built big, thin, but man, I saw her jump and I swore to God that she could have like slam dunked it, but she was away from the basket. But I just saw her jump like, how high did that chick just fucking jump? Dawn and I were looking at each other like, holy shit. She torched us. I don't know what she ended up with last night. We'd have to look, but probably right around 30 points. I mean, like, she torched us.
Well, she'd do the WNBA a huge favor if she did start dunking. That's for sure. I mean, if she can do it, you better start dunking.
Well, last year there supposedly was a player, a rookie, that was on the Seattle team. So Seattle Storm, I believe, had a rookie that has dunked it in a game, but not a WNBA game yet.
Oh, okay.
But she has the ability to.
Okay.
And I think it actually has been done before, but not very much.
No, it's very few and far between.
But it has been done.
It's been done.
Yeah. Natasha Mack got hurt, but.
Well, it says Sykes, she had 31 points, 7 rebounds,
There
6
you go.
assists.
I was right on the money there.
And then, I mean, what I look at as a plus minus, whoever Rice is, she had a plus minus of 13. So whenever she was on the court, they were doing very well.
Oh, yeah, dude. She was unstoppable. When the ball was in her hands or Mabry's hands, they were hitting them. And even when the defender didn't get burned and they're in their face, just like a Jordan thing, like a fallback or over top.
Yeah.
That there's nothing the defender can do, and they still make it.
Yeah.
But the defender was there. But both sides, and including them, the air balls, dude. I don't know if they track. Can you ask it? Does the WNBA track air balls?
For the sake of their
It's
probably not.
I don't know, but it's a funny thing to ask.
I don't even know. Does the NBA keep track of air balls? I don't even know if they do. That'd be kind of wild for either one of them. Yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah. There's a techie caveat to it.
There is a techie what?
A techie caveat to it. So using optical tracking technology in every arena, and the system uses AI and high-speed cameras to track the 3D coordinates of the ball in every player. While you won't find an air ball column, the league's internal data and coaching staffs can technically identify them. Okay, well, yeah, I mean, it's like hidden data that's more or less used for them. Which,
so they are tracking it,
but for their own purposes.
but not publishing it.
Yeah,
because it would be horrible, dude.
Yeah,
it would be horrible.
I mean,
and I'd love to know the difference between the WNBA and the NBA, and also college as well.
So it wouldn't be pretty for the NBA, too pretty for the NBA either. I mean, they airball their fair share.
How do you I consider it almost an air ball, but I'm talking about total misses when you're banking the ball on a layup.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
It's almost like an air ball, really.
Yeah.
Both teams, and even in free throws at the end of the game, we just let it slip away.
That shit drives me nuts, is the missed free throws. Like, you can miss a lot of shots, but make your goddamn free throws. I mean, they're quite literally called free throws.
They need more practice. That's what I've said. I swear to God, they need more practice. They need to develop these players more.
Well, and only having a 40-game season, that automatically puts
Here's one of the tough parts, though. How do you, because you have some teams that had tremendous turnover, okay? So how do you off-season, so when the season ends, right, and everybody's, watching the baseball playoffs and football started and all that other bullshit that's got our attention then, and when they could be doing some off-season stuff together, a couple weeks here, a couple weeks there, which would be a good idea since your whole training camp is bullshit, right?
Pretty much.
But how do you do that if you're going to have 40, 50% turnover in your team?
Well, yeah, it's damn near impossible. There's so
It
many
is, but
things
I
that work
still think
against
you
them.
should do it. You should still do it.
Oh yeah, I mean you got no
Are you
choice. but-
developing a player for another team? Maybe.
Yeah.
Then you might want to keep them. I don't know. But I'm just saying this is not working. You're not developing the players.
Nah, I mean it's too short.
They're not reaching their potential.
Well,
They do have potential. They can be good and exciting. I promise. I'm not lying about it.
They well, it's just there's the odds are stacked against them with the shortened preseason, shortened training camp, shortened season. Like you gotta think 20 games in, they're already halfway through their season pretty much. I mean that's
For sure.
I mean if you start out cold, you gotta turn around
That's
very
it.
quick.
Yeah. So we have that. We have a game Thursday. So we'll see if anything changes. They get back to 500 on Thursday. We're going to get right into it. Our other things that we want to talk about in the news. And let's start with Mamdani, because that's not going to be a long one. But I'm really, really tired of online on X and these other places for people saying, see, it can be done. You can tax the rich. Mamdani's taxing the rich. He balanced the budget. Do you people do you read very far into the articles?
No, headlines only.
Because, again, this is the Wall Street Journal, okay? It's not Fox News. It's the Wall Street Journal, all right? This isn't an article with an axe to grind, but he wanted to raise property taxes, and he got a lot of pushback, but apparently and the property taxes were going to be raised on everybody, not just the expensive homes. The $5 million second homes and more,
Yeah.
where he wants to raise money. That's another idea that it wasn't even his idea. It was Hochul's idea, the governor's, and he kind of adopted it, said, great, I agree with this too, Governor Hochul, let's do that. And then he came out and did the video standing in front of, a billionaire's second home. Ken, I can't remember, just a super wealthy dude. It's like a $268 million home.
Jesus.
in New York.
Holy shit.
But the guy has been moving quite a bit of his business. He still can't move everything out of New York, but he is moving quite a bit of his business, I believe, to Miami. So there's that. There's some people that are moving to Tennessee. The rich people are moving. The areas where they're coming up with these crazy ideas, they're not waiting to see if the crazy idea actually gets implemented or not.
Fuck no. Hell no. They have one bottom line and one bottom line only, and that's how much money they're making. They're not going to risk that for what might happen. They're going to stick with what they know.
And these are people who understand the risk-reward ratio.
Yep.
Like, they're the best at it.
Yeah.
They're very, very good. And so am I going to stick around in New York where I get 4 good memories a year and it's going to cost me $15 million a year?
No thanks.
Yeah, that's not good. 3-4 million a memory. Yeah, I create those fucking things somewhere else. I think maybe I'll leave.
Yeah.
It's not enough reward. It's not enough something good to stay.
Hell no.
And what's bad is really bad. And eventually, the thing is that these people don't understand. Because you can attack me. I'm just protecting rich people, and I'm stupid because I just protect rich people. No, I don't just protect rich people, and I don't. We're going to get into that too. I don't protect rich people. I don't protect corporations. I don't protect Israel. All the stuff getting accused of. It's just so funny. Like, people, you watch the fucking clip. Watch the rest of what I say. I'm inviting you. That's the whole point of the clip. Come watch the rest. See if I get it right or get it wrong. But you're watching a fucking clip. You don't know. I'm not for that. I know that there are bad and greedy corporations. I also know there's some really good corporations and some really good business minds too. And I think we have more bad politicians right now than good. And that's a very sad thing, because I pro-America, pro-USA, but there are still some people that I would consider good politicians or good people that are politicians. there's less of them, and I'd like there to be more. But this kind of stuff, you're eventually going to get through. You're going to get all the rich people money you can get, and some of them may cough it up. Others are going to leave, but at some point, whether they leave or not, the greed of the government, not just the greed of the billionaires, the greed of the government is going to be so great that they're going to need your money too. And that's the whole thing. And that's why, like I said, during Mamdani's first proposal, he was proposing raising the taxes by almost 10% on everybody.
Yeah.
On everybody's property. So that's regular people. Yeah, but y'all want to think he balanced the budget. He didn't. And then this other thing that he supports now, this tax on second homes with over $5 million. You know how much money it will raise?
How much?
$500 million. Which in the scheme of things is not that big a deal, dude.
No.
Because they're $12 billion short in the budget today. $12 billion.
Crazy.
And unlike the federal government, they have to balance the budget. Now, like every other area of the government, they're pretty good at fudging the numbers and shifting here and putting over there. It's all a big shell game.
Fortunately.
I'm telling you, people, it's a shell game. All right? It's the truth. You think I just y'all don't do half the critical thinking I fucking do. But anyways, so it's a big shell game. That's what they do in the whole thing. And at some point in this whole thing, you got to make some changes to spending. That's the only answer, is to change it in spending. Yeah. Because this game and let me tell you how they game the system, is they decided that they were not going to, you have your government workers, your city workers, and city workers usually are a part of the state pension plan, you know, we call it PERS, Public Employees Retirement System, and stuff like that. Teachers have one, same thing. And they have to make contributions to these plans based on the calculation of how many people are in it, what their likely income is going to be, and what their payout will be, and for how long is it. That's why you have these really smart, nerdy people that are actuaries that figure this all out.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a crazy job.
And if you look into it, this has been a problem for years that we don't even talk about, is underfunded pensions, not just of companies, but of states and cities of government that are underfunded. There's not enough money there. Okay. Yeah. There just isn't. So they're not making it better, are they? If they decide, you know what, this amount that we're supposed to contribute this year, we're going to put it off for a year, 2 years, 3 years, whatever it was, by not making that payment now. Well, that erases part of their deficit.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So they made the deficit smaller. And then you have, I think that Hochul offered a certain amount of money, like maybe $8 billion, and now maybe another $4 billion. The money, he didn't balance the budget. The money is coming from everybody else in the state. State taxes, it's going to come from there, where they're going to contribute and give that money to New York, however they give it to New York, to balance their budget.
Yeah,
that's how it's being balanced.
Yeah.
It's being balanced by mommy.
Say everybody else.
Yeah, Mamdani's mommy.
Yeah, in
the governor's office is going to be balancing the New York City budget. But they, like I said, at least they have to balance the budget. That's I never understood why every area of government, they have to balance the budget every year, except until we get to the federal level.
Yeah.
Then they don't have to.
Nope. Then we have billions unaccounted for going here and going there and every which way. And that was the whole point of Doge, but then that kind of just fucking fell.
We let it go.
Yeah. It's just,
it was doing the work.
Yeah. And then
they fought it.
Yeah. There's not much. They tried, but it just fell apart. I don't even know like what 100% happened in terms of how it fell apart. Like I know they were getting pushback, and my understanding was that it really fell apart because Trump or Elon wasn't seeing eye to eye anymore as much with Trump. I felt like that had a lot to do with it.
Well, here's the thing. You had Elon Musk, who was not a fan of the big, beautiful bill.
Mm-hmm.
And then you had Trump. He was the big, beautiful bill. And they were both right. But they were both right in different ways. Elon Musk was right that cuts needed to be made. And a lot of people need to know that we needed to make cuts. Thomas Massey, who we're going to talk about in a minute, he was a small government guy. He was for making more cuts, and he voted against it. Here's the thing with that, though. Trump is smart enough to read the room, and he got what he could get. And so do you want to just stand on principle and lose, or do you want to take and get 70% of what you want and live with the other 30% you don't want and then move on? Fix whatever little bit you can fix for a second or a little bit now and move on and take another shot of it the next year. I don't think either way is really is wrong.
No, I think it really just depends on what your action plan is and your end goal. I mean, that's like, I think that was one of the main things that why they disagreed was that in the immediate, it didn't really help us out a lot. But what he was doing is trying to set us up down the road. Yeah. And I agree with Elon, the immediate effect was not good. But what it was supposed to set up to do and how it's supposed to set us up financially, I agree with what Trump, his vision for it as well.
And why wouldn't people be for modernizing the system? Remember what we heard about? Remember we heard that to retire, I forget who was retiring, what group was retiring, but some group of federal workers, when they retired, they had to go down into this cave or something, deep down in the ground where they kept the files.
Yeah.
And they could only get so many at a time and process so many at a time. It was the stupidest thing in the world.
Yeah.
We have this greatest technology that we're saying is going to change the whole motherfucking world in the next 4 years.
Yep.
That this place is going to be unrecognizable. But we're using shit from the late 1970s for computers, dude.
Yeah, it's archaic.
It's insane.
As somebody who worked with government offices and government officials, like accountants, like whatever it may be, whoever handled the finances and seeing how it was done and the systems that they used, the processes that they followed, it was like eye-opening. Not even at a federal level, but just at local, like state level. Like it is crazy that we are in 2026 and these people still, like you said, we still file paperwork the same way we did in the 70s. It has not changed. And somebody brought up a point, coworker that I was having a meeting with, like they said that in a way, the government being as archaic as it is beneficial because them taking longer to do things means that changes don't happen as quickly. But if everything was to happen instantly, who knows what that could lead to? Like I don't know. I didn't really agree with it. But
here's the problem with that take on it. Yeah. Here's the problem with it is that they are spending money and they have spent money to redo these programs and they've gotten nowhere. The money's just gone.
Yeah.
And they don't have a new system. That's the problem. And it would take time anyways. But that's what I think Elon Musk was bringing to the table was the fact that we joke around that, we could put a bag of bolts together for $10 and we could sell it to the government for $9,000, the same bag of bolts, right? Well, he was pointing that out, and we need to be better at being able to procure things and stuff because all of these businesses, talk about greedy, all of these businesses that sell and do business with the government get the maximum amount they can. They're saying, fuck the people. I'm at the trough. I have this. I'm making the bid on this. And they get the money. Yeah. It's just absolutely insane. And you either dig deep into that and it's going to be hard and ugly. And the other thing that makes you do that, he knows something about a turnaround. Remember when he came into X, how many people he fired? And then what happened? He had to bring some back, didn't he?
Yeah.
What happened when Trump did it? Same thing. He had to bring some back. But you got to be able to do that. You got to say, this is how many people can do this work and figure it out. And if you give an agency, a department less money, then maybe more of it will go to the really important shit that it's supposed to go to. And there won't be so much left over to go to the fake bullshit in the stealing and the NGOs that are taking all this money and just fucking and raping the people. Because that's what they're doing to us. They're raping us.
Every day.
Yeah.
And if we feel
and that's
it.
how it's done. So, but I'm still pro-USA, you dumb fucks. I got some people in my head. They know who I'm talking to. They really do. It's crazy like that. But yeah, Mamdani has not balanced the budget. Although people on X, liberals, think that he had. Now, today, I can't wait. I haven't been on X yet today. I can't wait to see on X what these people are going to have to say about the fact that Thomas Massey, who has been one of the biggest thorns in the president's side, just lost his primary. And not just that. Okay. I'm talking, there were like 39 different races that he picked somebody or endorsed somebody, and Trump went 39-0. And here's what I have to say about that. Someone explained to me how unpopular Donald Trump is if he just scoreboarded you for 39 points and you put up a goose egg. You got none. And you know who was behind Thomas Massey?
Who?
There's a lot of people. Tucker Carlson was behind Thomas Massey.
Yeah.
Thomas Massey was recently on his podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Tucker Carlson, you say whatever the motherfuck you want, but Tucker Carlson has a lot of viewers. He has a big podcast.
Well, one thing I will say that it was pretty funny, but it was Thomas Massey when he was doing his like final press conference, and he talked about him, pulling out of the race because he was going to lose anyways, obviously. Mm-hmm. But he did say he was what's the guy's name that I can't remember his exact name that he just lost to.
Gillibrand.
Yeah. He was like, I tried to call Gillibrand, but he's like, I would have had this press conference a little bit longer, but I called my opponent Gillibrand, but it took a little bit longer because he was in Tel Aviv. And like I did think that was a funny little jab, like just a kind of like a fuck you on the way out, but but I mean the cream always rises to the top.
Here's the thing is, I don't know that this other guy's any good or not.
Yeah.
I don't think. Here's a case, and this does happen, where people were voting against somebody in a lot of cases more than they were voting for someone, and they were given just enough on this Gillibrand, who's like 68, 69 years old. He's not a young dude. But on the other hand, too, Thomas Massey has already served for 14 years.
Yeah, he's been around.
How fucking long does he need to be in there?
Yeah.
14 fucking years. Okay?
Yeah.
And they knew enough. Okay, Navy SEAL, that checks off a box.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And what else did he? He's pro-Trump and pro-Trump policies, checks off a box. For the big, beautiful bill, checks off the box because Massey voted against the big, beautiful bill.
Yeah.
And some of the people that lost recently, even earlier in the week, were Republicans that have been around a long time, but ones that had voted for impeachment even. How the fuck do you think? Man, I don't know what people think about politics, but let me tell you, it's a contact sport, motherfucker.
Yeah.
It is.
It's
how dare somebody go after their opponent or their enemy? That's so third world country. No, that's first world country bullshit, man. That's power. They're all after motherfucking power.
Yeah.
And I can either get more power. One of the ways I can get more power is by eliminating some people that I don't like.
Yeah.
Okay. That's so. But now you'll probably have some people that will still after we're talking next year, that'll still go to Thomas Massey, media outlets. So goes, what do you think about what Donald Trump doing right now? because they want somebody to say that's a Republican to say something against Donald Trump.
Yeah, of course.
They may do that still, but maybe a little bit less than they normally have. Because really, what does he matter now?
Yeah.
He doesn't.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't. It doesn't matter. You're no longer in office. Like, your word doesn't carry any weight. Maybe you can try and gear up and figure it out for the next election, but like you said, you're just going to be used as a media pawn, pretty much. That's going to be what your word is.
Oh, they love to use them, just like Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Yeah, she's a fucking. I was never really big on her. She was just too extreme, way too radical. Like, just I don't like people like that.
She was way hard Trump.
Yeah,
and then
way hard
against.
That's what I'm saying. It's too, like, she was never, like, there was never an in between for her. It was always, like you said, way hard with them, way hard not. Like, I can't. When people are like that, it tells me a lot about the way that they think and how easily they can be swayed, especially if you can just jump ship like that.
Yeah.
But I don't like when people have decision making like that, because you don't. That doesn't tell you you're always thinking logically. You might be thinking more emotionally than anything.
I don't know if this makes sense or not, but I'll use this analogy and you tell me what you think. I think the media is a little bit like a stripper.
Okay, could elaborate a little bit.
So the media is a little bit like a stripper. They're telling you all these wonderful things, and they actually, this, out of all the guys that come every night, this one actually likes you. No, she's got a fucking light bill due, dude.
Yeah.
She's trying to get deeper into your fucking pocket, but pretending, that's what I mean, where the left-wing media, they don't like MTG, they don't like Marjorie Taylor. They like that they can use her.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And that she can give them what. So she's thinking, oh, they like me now. No, bitch, they don't fucking like you now. They're using you.
You just work.
They're a stripper.
Yeah. You work for their narrative now. That's why the only reason they like you. It's because you have something to offer them. And that's,
and that fades.
I would say that's never a good thing to happen, because it's very short-lived. I mean, we've seen it time and time again. Like, the media just latches on as long as they can, and they just run that story, that narrative, whatever it is, into the fucking ground, and then they find the next candidate for it.
And Trump ran out Liz Cheney, and they brought her back out, during the presidential election. When's the last turn? And that didn't help them. It didn't help Kamala being on the stage with Liz Cheney. Everybody was like, all the liberals like, what are you doing? We hated Dick Cheney. You're bringing his daughter out? Like, that's just stupid. They are stupid.
Yeah.
They don't realize it because they think we're the stupid. They really are stupid.
Yep.
Because I just posted that one where we talked about that A.B. Hernandez, that this is still shit going on today. This girl in California that's now going through the tournaments that you go through, the different levels like sectionals, regionals, and stuff to get to the state meet in track. And what she was competing in, she won 3 different jump things, and we were talking about that. And so we have that little clip, and I posted that. I'm gay. I'm a pedo. I hate trans people. No, I don't hate trans people at all. But all this stuff that it triggered so many people, and they're like, "There's only 10 in the whole United States." Yeah, there is only 10, or whatever the fucking number is.
Too many.
Why are you dying on that hill?
Yeah.
Why are you dying on that hill? I'm sorry. I'm gonna go with the girls. That's it. But they pick the wrong things so often to get behind, like you and I were talking about the other day.
Yeah.
They pick the wrong issues. This is a 90-10 issue, and maybe 95-5 even. People just, you guys are still using that. It's still working, you dumb fucks, because you keep handing it to us as an issue like that.
I will say on the TikTok of the one that I have access to that I've been posting on, that one, understandably got much more engagement than most so far. And a lot of them obviously were, because TikTok's just liberal as fuck. They were against it, and that was the first thing they brought up. Well, one of the most common things I saw brought up was that, oh, it's only 9 or 10 people. Why are you harping on this? And then the other one was trans women are still women too, and that's not true. But that's the one thing I saw was And that's the first thing I thought of. I was just like, okay, if it's only 9 or 10 people in the entire country, why are you trying to change all of this for 9 or 10 people? Like, if it's not going to benefit a majority, at least a decent amount of people, why do you give a fuck like that?
You have to decide if you're a trans person, is it more important for you to be trans or for you to compete in the sport? Or what you could also do if you're a trans woman, you could compete in the boys sport.
That's what I was.
You could compete on the boys team.
Yeah, that was my idea.
Why not?
You can be a trans woman, but you still have to compete against boys.
And especially because, I don't know how many dicks they're chopping off under 18. I know they're doing the puberty blockers and stuff.
Yeah.
But we did, Leo and I believe we did the homework on it, and it was barely 20% that ever chopped their dicks off. Yeah. 20%. Those are you want to get my respect as trans? Chop your fucking dick off.
Go all in.
Go all in. And it's not a very big number.
No, because most of them use it for attention. They have a lot of underlying mental issues and experiences that they've gone through, which I can't sit here and say one experience is less than the other, but it leads to these weird thought processes that they have going on up there. And that's the attention they want. They're attention seeking, and this is what gets them the most attention.
Yeah. And the big issue right now in the Republican Party is Israel. It's the biggest. I think it's the number one issue, because even if you start talking about the Iran war, you're still talking about Israel. And I got to tell you, I got a message last night while Dawn and I were at the game. And I gave the message a little bit of attention. So somebody that I've known, we weren't like close friends. We had done business together on and off for probably the last 10 years, at least, like that. And he had been a college athlete and was a D3 school, Tiffin. You probably heard of the town of Tiffin,
I know,
right?
Yeah, I know Tiffin College. Mm-hmm.
Tiffin College. It's small.
Very.
Like really, 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 really small, okay? And he was a wrestler for Tiffin. And, like I try to tell you, there are peds in college sports, in baseball, Major League Baseball, and in college, and even in low-level D3. Like, the chances that you're going to go, we had one player, can't remember. I can't. I'm so terrible at this. It was a Pittsburgh Steeler wide receiver that went to Tiffin College and then ended up, played in the Super Bowl that we won. Was it Washington? Nate Washington. Thank you very much, Leo. Nate Washington is the only one I know of that's ever come out. And do you know how hard that is to come out of Tiffin and make the NFL? And he was on the practice squad, maybe making barely $100,000 for the year until the very end when they kept him on the roster. And then he went on to be a decent third receiver for us, and then got a good contract with the Titans, and then we never heard from him again. Well, that's what happens when you leave
now
Pittsburgh.
He's on TV too.
No, he's
good
for him.
For CBS, I believe.
So I'm not like totally shitting on Tiffin, okay? I did when I was talking to this guy shit on Tiffin because he was being a fucking prick. So I am going to give you that. And it was so funny. He goes, I got offers from these D1 schools. That just makes you more of a moron that you didn't choose one of them and you went to Tiffin. Did you think that made sense in your head when you said it, you dumb fuck? Like who do you think you're arguing with or talking to? But anyways, so this dude sends me a message. I hadn't heard from him in a little while. Sends me this message. He's so disappointed in me. Where's the real Troy? Oh, I can't believe this. Trump and Israel, and Trump is controlled by Israel, and you're just like, I'm all Israel. I mean, I think, like I'm also in on it with Israel. Like, get the fuck out of here. You're seeing clips, dude. You're not seeing my show.
It's not like you got a yarmulke on. Like,
and you know what? I've mentioned I am pro-Israel. I have been pro-Israel. because I don't like terrorists. If I have to choose, see, I'm not choosing between Palestinians and Israelites. Okay, people from Israel. I'm not making that choice. I'm making the choice of Israel versus Hamas. And you have to take some responsibility as a Palestinian that you made that your fucking government.
Yeah, I mean,
that is your fault. Okay, and I thought maybe I've always been, I was kind of a neocon, you know, the wars and stuff, and I supported the war in Iraq until I didn't. You know, I supported the war in Afghanistan until I didn't. And so my views did change. But bottom line is, I look at the whole history of man and look, and we've talked about it here. I look at that shit and I see for a fact that this is how the world works, by force, by military action. And only recently, in the last 75 years, has it been this big thing about civilians getting killed in a war. No war prior. You go back 75 years, and from 75 years ago to the beginning of man, it's always happened.
Yeah, I mean, it's casualties of war. That's what that comes from.
They went into villages. Did this not happen? Do people not get textbooks? Is that not a?
No, well,
I know they get iPads now.
They're doctored
right?
now.
But yeah, they don't get textbooks.
I mean, that's probably one of the biggest issues with American history is that they pick and choose what they decide what to give their people. So you do have to take that into account that a majority of Americans don't know actual history because it's not actually taught in school.
No. And then you know what you do know, and that's a great point, Leo. You know what you do know then? You know your history. You know the history of what's been going on the 25 years you've been alive.
Oh, you're okay.
Right? That's what you know. Like, yeah, I'm old. It's so funny when people point out that I'm an old man. No shit, motherfucker. Yes, I'm an old man. And I'm a jacked old man. And you're going to want to be me when you're motherfucking 58 years old. You die to be in this condition and look this fucking good. Okay? And that's me being an egomaniac. Okay, sometimes. Not a narcissist. There's a difference. People can't tell the difference between egomaniac and narcissist. There is a difference. People misuse narcissists all the time, and it always pisses me off. But anyways, so you got this dude, and he's, you know, he sends me this thing. I was like, does he think that I'm going to just go, oh, my God, I'm disappointing people. Oh, my God, you know what, dude? You're so right. I'm so wrong. Trump, I'm going to totally change my mind. You think you're going to come at me and change my mind like that? You know what I'm going to tell you? Fuck off. First of all, I haven't even thought about you. But you know what? You're thinking about me. But I'm not thinking about you, dude.
Was it something on Facebook that he saw? Is that where it was from?
Yeah, Trump stuff. Just yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then he went on this rant and he put some, I don't know if he deleted his comments yet or not, but I'm going to get to the good part of all this. So we go back and forth like, fuck you, dude. You don't know, you don't understand, and you're pro-terrorist. This is a thing, okay? And this was the thing, and this is the relationship to what we were just talking about with Thomas Massie, that the younger people in Kentucky, Republicans, voted for Thomas Massie, and the older ones voted more for Galliran, okay? And that's still a thing. There is, old media is not dead yet, people. It still exists, and it exists for old people. I know because I have a dad who's 81 years old, okay? I got it right this time, Dad. Be proud of me. I didn't make you 83. So they still actually watch news. I don't watch. Well, like, what do we have around here? Arizona 5 or whatever the fucking TV station is. Or we're like
KTAR.
Who the fuck watches that? But remember, 80% of people used to watch that.
Yeah.
But old people still do.
Oh, yeah. My grandparents do.
Of course.
They watch the local news right on the dot. They're on the couch ready to see what's going on. Like, That Wheel of Fortune and Family Feud, they don't fucking miss
We're
it.
searching headlines. We're going all over the place. We're having conversations with something that isn't even real.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what we're doing.
Yeah.
It's totally different and different values as well. But these younger people, they don't remember Iran. They don't remember, or it didn't dawn on them at any point until we brought it up. They took hostages for we did a countdown, and it was days and days. It was over a year that they had these hostages, these Americans. And that's what we saw is these just terrible, some of the worst people in the world, what they did to our people that were totally innocent. We remember that stuff. So this shit with Iran, you dumb fucks, has been going on for most of us for about 45 years. That's how long we've been dealing with it. You don't know about Iran. You don't know shit. You don't even know shit about the Iran-Iraq war, for God's sakes. You don't know. But you have an opinion on it. But yeah, I'm not pro killing Palestinian kids, but I'm sorry, and I'm going to say this, and this is not going to be well received by some, and I don't care. I'm sorry, I'm not crying over Palestinian children being killed because you're not crying over any of the Israeli children that were killed when they came across the border. Here's what if you start shit and somebody else finishes shit, and then you want to be mad that the way they finished it was too harsh, that it was, because that's what they say about Israel, right? That the response that Israel gave to October 7th was too over the top, too much for what happened to them. But we've already pointed out, as a percentage of the people, that if it was America, it would be was it 40-some thousand, something like that, yeah. Right? It would be the equivalent of somebody coming and in a day killing 40,000 Americans. Look what the fuck we did when they killed 3,000 in a fucking tower.
Yeah.
Look what we did. What the fuck would we do if they killed 40-some thousand? Okay. We all have these spy agencies. We're all, in this whole game. And you know what? I'm on Team USA. We're not perfect. We do bad shit. We take over other countries. So does everybody else. Guess what? Because it's been going on since the beginning of motherfucking time.
Yeah,
it's been going on.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but that's just that's how it's always been.
It's just, man, we're sinners. We're ever since, Cain killed Abel. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
That's how humanity started. Humanity didn't even make it, 3 actual humans before somebody killed another person? Isn't that how it was?
Well, it couldn't be 3. Well, Mom, Dad, 1 son, 4.
They didn't make it very...
You got to have 4.
Well, they didn't make it very deep until one human killed another human, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I got you.
So it's if it started back then, why wouldn't it be the same thing now? At a much higher rate, way higher, significantly higher.
Yeah, and I'm for Israel having Israel in the state that they have. And I'm not gonna back off of it, but I'm not crazy pro-Israel like some people that you can never say anything negative in. I don't tolerate that shit. I don't agree with that at all. I don't like how everything that's done, but I also don't like these people. Oh, Trump sucks. Netanyahu's dick, and you're he controls Trump. I don't know where these people have been and what rock they were hiding under. Trump doesn't do that shit with anyone. He doesn't bow to anyone. What he does do is if you're nice to him, he gives you respect back and says nice things, and he tries to get something that's positive for everyone. He's just not dumb. He doesn't pick dumb fights just to pick a fight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's intent behind it.
Yeah.
There's always intent.
Yeah.
I mean,
he's when he says good things about Xi, he's not trying to say this guy is a great fucking humanitarian because he's not. He's brutal. But Trump says, wow, he's been a brutal dictator. He's been a really good brutal dictator. He's good at what he does. He's just acknowledging that the guy's good at what he does.
Yeah.
By him saying that doesn't mean, well, Trump wants to be that too. No, he doesn't. It's not what
if Trump wanted to be that, he would have. This would have happened by now. It would have happened his first time around. Like I was more worried about that the first time around. Well, I'm not gonna say I was worried about it, but if I were to be worried about it, it would be his first term rather than this term, because laws. Everyone they bring it up. They're like, oh well, how do you feel about Trump saying he's gonna be the president from here on out? And I'm like, you guys are fucking stupid. Like, there's no possible way that anybody would allow that to happen. We're not gonna break the Constitution.
Republicans would not let it happen.
That's what I'm saying. We were not gonna allow that to happen. Like, if this is, like I said, first term, sure, I would understand the hysteria of that. But now, like, no, I'm already like, I'm not looking past him, but I'm already seeing like who's the best candidate after him.
Well, first of all, you have to go through primaries.
Yeah.
And he's killed and done super well the last 3 primaries. He would not do well in a 4th. He just wouldn't, because we're all kind of done. And I appreciate Trump, and actually I do appreciate Trump and what he's done. But I'm over old people, like really old. I'm over. I'm sorry. I love you, 80-year-old fucks, dearly. That none of you are listening to this, so I can just say that I love you dearly. But I don't want you running government or our country.
Yeah.
And I want you people in your 70s, we want a small percentage of you. I want the people 40 to 60. Because really, no offense, under 40, you don't know the shit you think you know. There's the exception. There's always the exception, talents. But that exceptional person is probably doing something else, not politics.
Yeah.
Okay, he's building some great business, providing some great service that everybody wants, and that's how he becomes, a billionaire.
Yep.
You wouldn't believe how many people have on my social media have come out on that shit too, because I'm just sucking billionaire dick now too. Besides Trump's, well, Trump is a billionaire, so Besides doing that, they're so over the top about billionaires that they literally think they shouldn't exist.
Well,
and that if they do exist, everybody else has a right to that money. Here's my response that I've had to that. What I believe in, my core principle on this, is that I'm not entitled to your labor, and no one is entitled to their neighbor's labor. No one. And that means, going back to the Pilgrims and the Mayflower, okay? If I choose to raise corn, plant corn, and raise some pigs, you're not entitled to that. So if you don't plant seeds, if you don't do something with your plot of land, I don't owe you some of what I did from my work because you decided to, take a mental health month. Okay. They didn't do that then. That's what's so funny. People claim about how hard it is today, and we don't have these, and the government should do this. Go back to 1920. We only have to go back 100 motherfucking years. It's not that hard to think of. Where was the safety net in 1920?
There wasn't. That's why the fucking Great Depression happened.
It happened because we didn't have a safety net?
Well, I'm just saying in the grand scheme of things, like that, if you want to talk about hardships, that's a perfect example of
a hardship.
Like that, like that whole era, like people couldn't even afford bread. Like they were starving. They were literally watching food being carried off these docks. But they had no way of getting to it. Like imagine seeing all this food coming in, but you're starving. You can't fucking
get it.
And
some people survived and some didn't, and life went on.
Yeah, and then you have people.
That's how it works.
Rich people became poor. I mean, like there was quite a few stories of moguls who pretty much lost everything during that time, and they were right with the people that they were quote unquote stepping on. Mm-hmm. So I mean, obviously, it's not that black and white,
saying,
but.
That was hard.
Yeah.
That was hard.
Like
building the railroad was hard.
That's like, that was my example. Like, if you want to know what hard is like I'm not gonna sit here and say it's perfectly easy. Like, it does have its own issues, but like compared to what things used to be, like it's night and day.
Yeah. Like shut the fuck up.
I actually had I was talking to my grandma the other day, and I was talking about her, talking to her about the difference in times, and I was like, I am grateful that I have the modern day I can make my decision on what I want to do. Like I have some sort of path. like, even if it's minor, like, there's a pathway for me. Back in the day, she's like, as soon as you got a job, you fucking got that job, and then you were more than likely staying at that job for the rest of your life. And that's how it was a lot back home. Is Packard, they work for General Motors. They all worked that fucking job in that town for pretty much 30, 40, 50 years, how long they were at, and they retired. That was it. Now it's like how many I've had. I can't even count on my hands all the jobs that I've had. I've jumped back and forth. So like to me, that's a privilege. Like that's a good privilege to have those options and that opportunity rather than being tied down just to something just because of where you live.
Yeah, there was not as great of opportunity for advancement. I mean, there would be some, obviously, in the corporate settings. But then, you know, we're getting into the 50s and 60s, which were better times, you know, financially after World War II and things like that. But yeah, we didn't have these things that people, these programs are just not as old as people think they are.
Yeah.
They're just not.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It might seem outdated, but time moves fast and things change quickly. So it might, even though it's only 20-something years old, that's not that long ago. 20 years is not that long ago.
No. And I'm just, like I said, I'm just not for terrorists. I'm just not. And I guess maybe I'm more pro-war than I thought. But you know what? I'm pro-war. The one thing about me being pro-war, I'm pro-winning wars.
Yeah, that helps.
Okay.
That helps out.
And my whole beef with all the shit that's going on, my whole beef with Iraq and even Afghanistan, I don't care about what got us there or they lied to us or that, because, you know, Saddam Hussein lied too. He said he had weapons that he didn't have. So you lie about that and say you have it, and then we come, well, that's your dumb fault. You got your ass kicked, okay?
Look what happened to that guy.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm totally.
We've all seen the video.
What I am against is then the nation building or putting our money into the country and building the schools and no, just either go in, crush it, and leave, or go in, crush it, and take over everything.
Yeah,
we didn't take anything. I'm mad that we didn't take the oil. We should have taken the oil. That should have paid us back for the war.
Yeah, and
we should have taken it, and we could have, you know, ruled over there or had some kind of deal or however we control it, you know. Empires used to do that. People think, you know, we're...
yeah, the empire.
People are anti-empire.
Well, look at some of
I don't know what to tell you.
Some of the most successful civilizations throughout history have been empires.
You know what's... it always happens where an empire grows, it gets, you know, too full of itself and it shrinks. There's a whole pattern there. We're still in that pattern.
Yeah.
It still fucking happens.
Yep.
So I'm kind of like, I just want to win the war. I want to take the winnings when we do win. And when there's nothing good to take in a place like fucking Afghanistan, you just fucking level that shithole.
Yeah.
Fucking ice that shit over. That's what I was for. So I'm against long wars where we don't win.
Well, yeah,
and spend hundreds of billions of dollars. That's why I'm still okay with what Trump's doing right now. Would I be okay with this if we're still dealing with this at the end of his presidency? I'm gonna be pissed.
Oh yeah, a lot of people are gonna be pissed.
And yeah, so there is that. You know, it's not these people think we just will support Trump no matter what, and that's just not the case. And the other part of the equation is, you people that, especially former conservatives, that bitch about the whole Israel thing, like a Tucker Carlson or like this guy that messaged me and stuff. What's your other choice, you dumb idiot? Kamala? Did you vote for that bitch? She is not smart.
We would have way different problems. Way different.
Exactly. You also have to look at it like, you may not like the system we have, two-party system, but I'm old enough and smart enough to recognize that's what we have to work with. And you got to pick a side and work to shape that side to the best of your ability.
Yeah.
And you're not going to agree with everything. It's just the way that it's going to be.
You don't have to.
But you do need to pick a side right now.
You don't have to I never believed that you had, like, just because you identify as Republican or Democrat, that doesn't mean you have to fully sell out and be everything that party's for.
And I'm not.
And you can agree with a lot of things that they
exactly
do, but you don't have to agree with everything. That's just life. Like, that's just being a human being.
Here's the thing. It could be 60%, 65, 70% that I agree with on the Republican side.
And that's a lot. Like,
okay. Do you know how much I agree with on the Democrat side?
Less than 10?
Probably.
I say I wasn't gonna say 0. I think there's like maybe like 1 or 2 things you might
because if we started listing if we started listing all the top issues, like abortion, immigration, economy. I'm pro-capitalism.
Provides the most opportunity for being real.
It always has. I'm against crony capitalism.
I think we all are.
You would think, but people don't know the difference between the two.
They just loop in capitalism with that.
They think that capitalism is crony capitalism.
Yeah, no matter how you chop it up.
No, that's just when you corrupt capitalism, and you can corrupt anything.
Socialism
anything
can be corrupt.
It is corrupt.
We've already seen it. We've already seen it happen.
And that's just not the whole thing about that. It's just you got to provide incentives. You're going to get the best results when you provide incentives.
Mm-hmm.
Like I used to have people that made phone calls for me when I had my financial business, and say you're a young guy, you're in your first year of college, so you're 19 years old, and so a job with me would be 3 to 5 hours a day, and you're going to make phone calls, and you're going to get, $15 an hour then, okay? And you're paid per appointment that you set, too. And if the appointment, it's like another $25 for every appointment you keep. How do you want to be paid? Would you want to be paid 20 or how am I going to get the best results? Am I going to get the best results from the guy I pay $20 an hour, or the guy that I pay $15 an hour, but I pay him a bonus of $25 for every appointment sets? Which guy is going to give me more appointments? That guy.
Yeah, the one who's has
because
incentives.
The other guy, he gets paid whether he sets an appointment or not, so he doesn't care.
Yep.
But now that I've given you the opportunity, you mean to tell me, Troy, if I set 8 appointments, I get an extra $200? And yeah, you do, dude. And that, along with your hourly that you get, you could get like the equivalent of, it might be minimum wage money, and I'm totally against minimum wage of any kind, but you could have this minimum wage money of a 40-hour work week in 20 hours. If you get the same amount. So you want to work for me and work for 20 hours and get the same as you'd get working at Taco Bell for 40 hours a week? Which is going to be easier for you to have fun, enjoy your college, and just have time to study and all that stuff. It's a good fit, right? It was a great job.
Yeah.
For
I would imagine kids. So, like, especially with their schedule. Absolutely.
Right? It just works. You got to have incentives, man. If you don't have incentives, it's like, who cares?
I've always often wondered, I've never said if it's would be like, the answer to everything, but I've always often wondered, like, maybe paying politicians more, but barring them from doing any sort of like trading at all. Because, like, I mean, how many politicians do we see who are actively trading stocks? Like,
way too many.
Exactly. And I mean, I get it. Like, you want to make as much money as possible, but like, I think, like you said in the podcast the other day, like, you wouldn't do their job for what they get paid right now.
Fuck no.
So, I mean, they probably are like, I don't want to make just that for all of this work. I'm going to try and make as much as I can on the side. Yeah, it might not look good, or yeah, I might know more than the average person, but who cares? I'm getting the money. I think it's incentivizing and paying them more, a higher yearly salary. It might help kind of with that corruption. I could be wrong.
Yeah, I don't know either, but I do know this. I do know that they shouldn't be allowed to trade.
They
stocks.
100% should not be allowed to trade.
And I'll limit it, and I'll include their spouse.
Yeah,
I won't include their kids or brother and sister or that shit.
But you will get probed
because it's not their fault.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, if you have a brother or sister that trades in a certain stock, and because they can follow this stuff, and it just happens to be where the person made the trade, the initial trade, a day or two before, dad or the uncle or whoever it was, voted in a certain committee a certain way.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, that's inside information. You should be prosecuted for that.
Absolutely.
Okay. But I also don't think you should be penalized that you don't have control of your uncle and what he does with his life.
Yeah.
That I shouldn't be penalized if I'm his nephew that I can't trade in stocks because he chose a certain profession. He's not even my dad. I don't even like that uncle.
Especially,
you know what I mean, or whatever. It shouldn't be that way.
Especially if there's an investigation and they find that you weren't giving insider information, that the nephew was just doing it on his own free will. So I mean, I think it's complex, but I think there is a light at the end of the tunnel in terms of finding out a way to stop this insider trading, because it's a rampant problem.
But it's easy to stop.
But we haven't done it yet, though. Like, nobody wants to fucking do it.
We haven't done it, and they're not going to do it.
And that's
unless there's enough pressure on them, and that's very hard to do unless you vote more people in that campaign on it and put the pressure that way. It's just very, very hard. It's why we don't have term limits, dude.
Yeah.
Okay, we should. So sometimes, let me give you an example. Oregon, the state of Oregon, just had the state of Oregon, the governor signed a bill last year raising the gas tax 6 cents. And it's supposed to be for roads and stuff. That's what they always say, right?
Safe.
and it passed. Well, the Republicans, very smartly, got enough, because this is the law in Oregon, they got enough, they put petitions together, and they got like 3 times the number of signatures that they needed to put it on the ballot and let the people vote whether or not they wanted this 6-cent tax or not.
I would hope they said no.
And they did.
Okay.
They overturned it, so now that 6-cent tax isn't going to happen. But the Democrats ran on affordability, right?
Yeah. And then you're hiking.
The taxes
on something that you
Bob
need.
Donnie ran on affordability, and then he was gonna raise property taxes on everybody.
For everybody. Yeah.
Until everybody said, fuck you. Right?
That's socialism.
Do you see what I'm saying? But that's what I'm saying. You need to put it on the ballot.
Yeah.
We need to put it on the ballot. And constitutionally, and you have to have so many states and do that whole process and stuff. But I would love for somebody to take up that mantle and do that.
Yeah.
For term limits.
Absolutely. Just because we voted you in doesn't mean like we're just going to be okay with everything that you do without any sort of questioning, backlash. But
everybody get behind it. There should be no reason that if you're a Democrat and I don't agree with anything that you believe in, I do believe that we should agree on term limits.
Yeah,
because as a Democrat, I would think if I was a Democrat, there's got to be some people that annoy the fuck out of me that have been around for 30 years. Do you know what I mean?
My biggest thing I've always said about that, if you're not old enough to go to or if you're too old to go to a job and get hired there, you probably shouldn't be in politics, like still making decisions for us. Like I don't mean that as like a slight against anybody, but like if an employer is like, hey, we really like you, but due to your age, we're just not confident in hiring you for this. Like,
so I would go like this. I would go say 50%, at least 50% from 40 to 60. What kind of breakdown I would like to see. You can't have a law or anything to make that happen. But I'm just trying to say I'd like to see that at least half are between the ages of 40 to 60, and then from 60 to 70. You're going to have another 30, 40%, and then the balance, your 70 to 80-year-olds, just your handful there. But
term limits also help get rid of corruption, because it's like if that person's only going to be there for X amount of years, and then you have to come in and try and play ball with somebody completely new, maybe that person you previously you had an agreement with, they play ball, but this next person's like, fuck you, I don't want to deal with you. I'm not going to risk this. That makes it 1,000 times harder. I'm not saying it completely solve it, but it's just another layer that you could add.
I don't want to see people serve 7 terms like Thomas Massey did. No matter whether I agree with the politics or not, I don't want to see 7 terms. 7 terms is too many. 4 should be the top in the House, and that would be 8 years. Dude,
that's a long time. 8 years is a fucking long time.
And maybe, you don't have there's a problem with the 2-year thing too, dude. Okay, because senators are 6 years.
Yeah.
Presidents are 4. So I think Congress people should be 4 as well.
2 is too short, yeah.
Because what are you doing?
Yeah.
You're always doing nothing but campaigning.
Yep.
And that means you're taking money from people and, bending over and passing whatever legislation because that's what you got to do. You immediately got to be setting yourself up for the next campaign.
Yep.
It's always about winning the campaign. It's not about governing and actually putting legislation together. And those are the things that need to be fixed.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, for you, it was Thomas Massey. For me, I've said it multiple times, but I just don't want to see any more fucking Mitch McConnells. I just can't. I can't with the Mitch McConnells of the world.
You have somebody else in Ohio.
Who? Was it not DeWine? Who?
In Congress.
I'm drawing a blank. Sorry. I don't know off the top of my head.
What? Because I used to clap. She's been there over 30 years. Marcy Kaptur.
Oh.
See, I did it before you got it. Marcy Kaptur. You're familiar with Marcy Kaptur?
I know the name, but not as much as much as I am as the rest.
Yeah, dude, she's
been around
forever. You could not beat that bitch. You couldn't put anybody up against her.
If I see her,
and anybody could win.
Let me see her face.
Yeah, she kind of hides more now.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Okay. So the reason why I do recognize her is because she reminds me too much of Elizabeth Warren. So that's where that draws the connection now. So yeah, right? I do know. I just didn't know her name like that because all I thought was Pocahontas. That's all I could see every time I saw her. Oh my God, it is Elton John. Holy shit. With the little scarf there and everything. That is fucking hilarious.
Oh, yeah, I cannot stand Marcy Kaptur. But that again, it's been probably over 30 years now.
Who's the old bag that with the blue stripe in her hair? I can't think of her name, but boy, is she the most. First of all, how the fuck do you keep voting her in? Like, how is she able to retain that job? But she talked about an old crow. That is the definition of an old crow.
I forget the guy's name off the top of my head, but you know about the black guy that once during a hearing was questioning someone, and he actually said something is the dumbest thing you've ever heard anybody ever say on the planet about that people like moving people to a certain side of the island was going to tip over. Did you ever see that?
No, that's fucking insane.
You got to see this.
That's
you got to see this. So it's a clip, Leo, where a black U.S. congressman asked the question about an island flipping over.
I got to figure out that lady's name, too. It's actually bothering me now.
Yep, there you go. See? Guam. We have a base in Guam.
He's worried that Guam will capsize.
Yeah, you got to hear this, man.
Well,
play the whole thing in the.
If it's going to happen, it needs to happen in California. Sorry.
Anderson Cooper, AC 360, CNN weeknights 10 Eastern.
All right, Anderson.
A lot of odd things happen in Planet Washington. I actually thought this was kind of an April Fool's joke when I saw it today, but it's not. It took place last week in a House Armed Services Committee hearing discussing a military buildup on the island of Guam. Here's Georgia Congressman Hank Johnson. Listen.
Good old Hank.
This is a island that at its widest level is 12 miles from shore to shore, and at its smallest level or smallest location, it's 7 miles between one shore and the other. Is that correct?
I don't have the exact dimensions, but to your point, sir, I think Guam is a small island.
Very small island, and about 24 miles, if I recall, long. So 24 miles long, about 7 miles wide at the least widest place on the island, and about 12 miles wide.
This is hard. This is hard to listen to.
Part of the island.
Jesus.
And I don't know how many square miles that is. Do you happen to know?
I don't have that figure with me, sir. I can certainly supply it to you if you'd like.
Yeah, my fear is that the whole island will become so overly populated that it will tip over and capsize.
We don't anticipate that.
He's trying not to laugh.
I got to say, I'm impressed with the Admiral Robert Willard, who's head of the U.S. Pacific Fleet, for not laughing, frankly. Later, when he was asked for clarification, a spokesman for the Congressman Johnson said he meant that adding about 8,000 Marines and their families to the population of Guam could be a tipping point for the island's infrastructure and ecosystem. That
he meant it literally flipping the fuck over.
Yeah, that's what it is. First of all, listening to that was just hard. That was a very hard listen.
But somebody voted that motherfucker in.
Yeah.
Well, enough people voted that motherfucker in that he won. And he was around for a while, dude.
Yeah, who was he? That was Georgia?
Hank Johnson
in Georgia? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, being somebody born from in Atlanta, Georgia, living the first 11 years of my life, I'm not proud that he was voted in, but Georgia, I can understand why they might have thought for a second.
Let's not smear Georgians because
hey,
of Hank Johnson.
I got some ties. I lived there. I got a lot of ties to Georgia.
I got love for Georgia.
But yeah, that was hard to listen to. But
damn, dude,
that
you know what he makes AOC sound smart.
Yeah, I know,
doesn't he?
Because she at least doesn't hesitate. She's wrong, but she's very proud of how wrong she is. Very proud. He was like, he was like coming up with,
she could sell it.
Yeah, he was like, it seemed like he was just trying to come up with these figures on the spot, like just making shit up. That's what it sounded like. At least have like something rehearsed. I wonder. I'm curious as to what his campaign looked like.
But that's the thing. What is the minimum level that's like these people could? Because you couldn't survive in the real world in business and stuff. You couldn't survive, man.
Yeah.
And make a living being that motherfucking stupid. You just couldn't do it.
Only
man.
as a politician you can.
Yes. Sure.
Say what jobs pays more for being wrong more? Being a meteorologist or a politician? Which one? I mean, this is wild.
Yeah,
I need to find Leo. I'm sorry. I need to know this chick's name that I brought up. Like, it's really bothering me. Just type in old Congresswoman with blue hair. There it is. Congresswoman with blue hair. Wow. Maybe I'm not the only person that's talking about this. Her.
Oh my God.
She is the fucking worst. Like, she is the worst. Like, the absolute worst. Like, she doesn't, like, when she's talking, she literally doesn't make sense. Whether she's for something or against it, either way, it's just a ramble. It's just, she just babbles the entire time. And to me, that is like, she should be she would fit perfectly on The View. She's a perfect candidate for The View because none of them, they're just a bunch of old fucking bags rambling about bullshit all day. How long has she been it says since 1991. 1991. That's older than me. Yeah. I was born in 96. Like, that is an issue. Like, even if she was, like, I'm not gonna say she is, but at one point
saying
she was.
Even if she didn't have blue hair?
No, it's regardless. The blue hair just adds to it. And like I said, the most venomous creatures always let you know. All right, they always have bright colors. But that just adds to it. But just listening to her talk, like, I forget who it was, but she was trying to like nail somebody, and like the points that she was bringing up, she was getting absolutely owned by this guy. I can't remember his name, but just purely owned. And she was like shaking, so mad that she was gonna leave and all this shit. And it's just like, you're the one that brought this up. You called him for this meeting to question him. And now you're trying to flip it out and make him seem like he's like this disrespectful. Oh, it was the guy with the EPA. It was the guy with the EPA, and she was talking about all the changes or something that he was putting into effect, and she was arguing against it. And she didn't know. He brought up 2 landmark cases for the EPA that he was very knowledgeable on, and she had no idea about either of these landmark cases, and she was just making up bullshit. And he's like, "Ma'am, do you know about these cases? Like the 2 biggest cases in EPA history? This is quite literally what we're here arguing about."
I think that might have been maybe I forget the guy's name or the person's name, but I bet that was a confirmation hearing.
It might have been
for EPA.
It might have been because
who's the head of the EPA?
Now
under Trump.
Yeah, I actually don't even know who the head of the EPA is.
We got to, if I remember right, he's got a pretty good person in there.
Yeah, it's Zeldin. Administrator
Zeldin's
Zeldin.
good. Zeldin is good. Zeldin was a really good congressman too. He's one of the better ones.
I can try.
Good job.
If you type in
Lee Zeldin.
Yeah,
I'm sure that was who she was talking to, right?
Yeah, it was. It's him. It's if anybody has 2 minutes and 35 seconds and needs a good laugh, just watch that. Just know that if you ever thought that you were bad at your job or unqualified, whatever it may be, this will make you feel a lot better.
Yeah, you could do Lee Zeldin versus blue hair lady.
Yeah, and it'll fucking come up.
Lee Zeldin versus blue haired senator. The prompts we create now.
It's gonna be that first video right there. Yep.
Yeah. Why not? We got nothing else to do. It's towards the end of the show. Let's listen to her.
You need a good laugh.
Probably.
It's from like 3 weeks ago.
Is it?
Yeah. It was posted 3 weeks ago. I don't know when the exact date of it was, but she makes me feel better about myself.
Change is flooding our streets, poisoning our air, driving up healthcare and disaster costs. How can the EPA justify abandoning that duty to protect Americans to appease polluters under the false flag of economic growth?
Following the law, Section 202 of the Clean Air Act, where does it say anything about fighting global climate change? Loper Bright, Supreme Court case, you familiar with it?
No, I maybe others are. I'm not, but let me ask.
But that's really important. As a member of Congress, Loper Bright says that we, as an agency, don't have the authority to get creative if Section 202 of the Clean Air Act.
No, but you don't have. Excuse me. You do not have the right to say climate change does not exist. That it's a hoax, and that's where this administration is coming from.
I understand you're upset that you don't know what Loper Bright is. Do you know what the major policies doctrine is?
I'm upset because
you know what the major policies doctrine is.
You know what, let me just
you're a member of Congress. You should know.
Well, you have moved from someone who defended the environment to all of a sudden
being very defensive about not knowing the 2 biggest landmark Supreme Court cases of the last year with regards to your question.
You are very defensive about changing your policy and your positions with regard to the environment.
Okay.
Now, you just tell
me. Do you want me to tell you what the 2 biggest Supreme Court cases are of the last few years?
This is what I want you
Michigan
to tell
versus
me.
EPA.
Whoa.
West Virginia versus EPA.
You know, you're here because you need money from us. So halt for the second and wait for the questions and answer the questions.
Well, I answered your question,
no, you
and you didn't like my answer because you don't know what Loper Bright is, because you don't know what the major policies doctrine is, because you're asking me about Section 202 of the Clean Air Act, and you don't read it. You don't know what it says.
Listen, and what you want to do is to deny.
No, I actually read the law. I do my homework.
Really?
You're just somebody who likes to have the microphone on. You know what I have to do? I read the law.
You know,
I read the Supreme Court
cases.
cases.
This, and I would say
no, what you should do for your constituents is actually read statute.
The budget is at real risk.
Read your Supreme Court.
This is the Appropriations Committee.
Oh, you care about science? Now you're threatening to defund it?
Oh my God! No, you don't fund
because
science.
you don't know what Loper Bright is. Because you don't know what the major policies doctrine is. Your message to our folks at the EPA is that you want to defund us.
I don't have to listen to this BS.
The BS. You think I made up these cases?
Yeah, I think you have made up a whole lot of
I made up Loper Bright. I made up West Virginia versus EPA. I made up Michigan versus EPA.
Whoa is right. What are you doing? Why are you helping
That's how he's looking at she's looking at the chairman, and
Save me!
Yeah, and he's just like
fuck
he's
you.
like, wait, do you know about these cases? Like, do you not know about them? Like, it's just shit like that. Like, she should not be in that chair. And that's why I said she's a perfect candidate for The View, because he said it perfectly. You're just somebody that likes to have the microphone on.
Yep.
So The View needs you.
Yeah. So going back to, wrapping this stuff up for all today. So, I was talking, we got into these different issues because I was telling you about someone who had messaged me.
Yeah.
And, then of course, right away, the personal attacks,
Yeah.
It's like, dude, you've only done business with me for 10 years, because I'm good at what I fucking do.
Yeah.
Right. But then all of a sudden now you want to say that what I do is bullshit.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
And he made maybe, like I said, the comments are still on Instagram. Maybe they're not, maybe he deleted them. And I was messaging back. It was in my DMs. He's got my cell number too. But anyways, I finally said, you know what? This is all the energy you get from me, dude.
Yeah.
That's just it. It's all the energy you get. You're a Jew hater. You're saying Jew this, Jew that, blaming the Jews because what? Your life sucks. Things aren't going good for you, whatever. All right. I'm just not into that. I've explained my views on it and where I am. And, I think Israel can be criticized and that it's not anti-Semitism to criticize them. But when people are like this, he absolutely displayed anti-Semitism. It was clear as fucking day. He couldn't have done any worse than if he would have called a black person the N-word. Okay, that's the kind of level that it got to.
Yeah.
And I said, you keep throwing messages here, but I'm not responding anymore because you don't get any more of my energy.
Yeah.
But at one point, I did say in a short message, "Are you drunk?"
Like, where the fuck is this coming from?
Yep. And guess what happened?
What
do you think happened? Dawn talks about this all the time. How people say shit to me and get real bold and big and, think they're badass and I'm not a badass because I'm an old man, And, because look, I do come back to Ohio, dude. Because if you said this to my face, it's not going to work out how you think it will. You can think you're all sweet stuff. That's okay. Maybe you should remember the things I did and, who I still am. And, or maybe it was in the text.
I'll go ahead and just read some comments that I missed earlier.
Go ahead.
So we had Bob at the beginning of the show saying a brief moment of sanity with a middle finger and a laughing emoji. A little bit later, we had Father Time 1776. First one says, "My man is on one today. Love to see it," with a fist bump and US. I'm assuming US. It says us, but US. And then one last one from Father Time. Captor is a hag. How do you say that? Captor?
Captor. Yeah. Thank you very much. So here's what I got this morning I woke up to. Because he's 3 hours ahead of me.
Yeah.
Obviously, this doesn't matter. I would absolutely tell me to fuck off too, but I was wasted as fuck and on an Israel rant last night. No clue why I decided to comment or text you insane and really gay of me. Sorry, man. I'll take the accountability on that one. Take a lot of the shit I said with a grain of salt because I was just babbling out of my ass. Again, not expecting a don't worry about it or anything. I understand, but I just wanted to apologize and take accountability there. Sorry, dude. So Dawn's always surprised, at the people, who, in a moment of sanity, apologize.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, man. I didn't care before, and I don't care now.
Yeah.
I'm going to do my thing, and I'm going to do my thing whether I get 6 views or 12 views or 200 views or 200,000 views. I'm going to do my thing. And, right now is a good time to pick on me. To try to. Go ahead, get your digs in, because now's the time to do it, because there's going to come a time when you're not going to be able to do it again, because I'm willing to do shit that other people aren't willing to do, okay? It may be easy to buy podcast equipment, but it is not easy to do this. Y'all think you can get on a microphone and just fucking talk. Yeah, it doesn't work like that.
Nope.
And, everybody starts out, or most, unless you're already famous, but anybody that's doing this like me, they all had to start out how I did. Zero viewers, 0. They had to get on knowing that first fucking podcast they were doing one going to reach fucking jack shit. And I just don't care. I'm going to do my thing because I'm confident in myself in that way. And a lot of people aren't. They're just not confident. They couldn't do it. That's okay. But I'm not going to fucking change, man. And there's more to me than clips. And I love the clips. Don't get me wrong. I love the clips and what we're doing and pushing out there. But there's more to this shit than that. And that's the problem. I have to do the clips to get your stupid ass fucking attention. That's what I have to do. And we talked about changing videos and doing certain things that totally make no sense at all, but it grabs people's attention at the beginning of the video. We just had that conversation, right?
Yeah.
Right? Just had that conversation, me and Mikey. And it's stupid. I don't like it. I don't like doing that. I don't like when people put up a car video. They're out. They're talking to people about their cars, and a dude calls a Corvette a Lambo. And so that everybody in the comments are making like, this dude's so stupid. No, he knew what the fuck he was doing. He called that Lambo a Vet for a reason.
Yep.
So that it would gain traction because you're all commenting the fucking algorithm.
Yep, pretty much.
Pretty
One
much.
thing I was going to bring up is, it's not like we're getting, 1,000 followers overnight, but there's been a significant increase, compared to, well, I'm not gonna say before me. I don't know how things were, but since I started, I think we're at not even a little over 400 subscribers. We're almost at 450. And I mean, that's 6 months.
I haven't even looked in a minute, man, because
But I'm just saying, that's a slow, even if it's a slow build up, that's still momentum. It's still worth hanging your hat on. There's people that agree with you and that they do like what you have to say. It's just about getting them more en masse. And I think it's just something that happens over time.
Dude, it's not like I think I'm going to be fucking Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
All right. You know what I mean? But can I get big enough?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Maybe. We'll see.
I've seen dumber shit happen.
But anyways, yeah, but to do the other things and for business and other things, there's a plan behind all of this that people watching just don't see. You just don't know the plan. And when somebody, he tried to compare, numbers of people, first he said Meta and Israel or somebody, Meta, they're making money off me. and then he tells me how he gets more views than I do. Well, aren't they making more money off of you
then? Yeah.
than that?
Yeah.
And okay, I'm not getting paid by them. Well, we get a little check now.
Yeah.
We get a little tiny check from Meta now. But you don't know how that even though I only have 500 people on TikTok, that I once had 15,000 and then I had 5,000 and then I had to start over and I've got 500 now. And you don't understand that I built relationships with many of those people in that first 15,000 that I've helped them in their lives and what they're trying to do in fitness and health. And I've done very, very well for myself and done better than people that I know have 250, 500,000 followers and don't make that income that I had just with that 15,000. You don't know the numbers unless I tell you about the numbers. You don't know. So you just don't, that's just people not understanding how shit works. And that's okay. That's why you have that's why people have jobs.
Yeah.
It is not everybody is an entrepreneur. Not everybody wants to take a risk. Not everybody wants to put thousands of dollars into something that they're not generating revenue for a while. Not everybody's willing to do that. And then you know what happens? Sometimes we're not rewarded and we take the hit. We were wrong. We were wrong about the service or whatever we were trying to present, and not enough people liked it. That could happen. People just don't, this is not the content they want. They don't like it. They're not going to come around. And then sometimes some people hit. And it could be, a technology. It could be a podcast. It could be a number of things. And they make a shit ton of money. But then you want to shit on them because now they're a millionaire or they're a billionaire and they didn't work for it. They took the risk that you didn't take. Maybe you weren't smart enough to take the risk. That's just not your thing. It's, different people are good at different things, man. It's just what it is. You're only going to make so much money, let's say, if you make furniture yourself. But now what you can do that you never used to be before, the guy that used to barely make a living but made a living was able to buy a house and a car and go on a vacation or two with his family, because he made furniture that the townspeople bought and stuff. You know what that guy could do now? The young person does that. He doesn't have to have a shit ton of people. He could have a couple people, or he can turn the camera on himself and he can show himself in that shop and how to make the different things that he makes, that he sells. Because some people are going to be interested in how he makes it and want to make it themselves. And they were never going to buy his shit anyways. And then there's other people like me that are going to see it and say, that's really interesting how he makes that. But I don't want to make it myself. I want to buy his stuff. I like how his stuff is. Mm-hmm. And could potentially make a lot more money because of social media and having a channel or doing something today than ever before. Nobody can stop you. The opportunity is so motherfucking huge. And you're not taking it. And that's okay. You decide it's your choices. But don't be mad at the motherfucking people that do. That we decide to take chances that you don't take.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Because when I failed, I wasn't in the handout line. I didn't get in that line. I didn't get in the social safety net line. I took the hit and just went and kept working. So Trump had a big win, and I don't think we talked enough about it. That was a huge win yesterday, like huge. And it sets up a change for the midterms. Could things change again between now and November? Certainly. But I think that was so huge because you do have to ask yourself, if Trump is so fucking unpopular, this war is so unpopular, and I'm not saying people aren't mad about gas prices and shit and that stuff ain't real, but we're hanging with this guy. And one of the reasons we're hanging with this guy is because we don't like the alternative. One of the reasons that, I'll hang with Israel to a certain degree is because I don't like terrorists. And they're just doing what's in their best interest. You don't have to like it. They're doing what they feel is right. And, I just don't back terrorists. I don't understand the thought process of an American backing a terrorist regime over the United States or anyone else either. So that's my 2 cents. And we'll be back on Friday. Hit the subscribe button. Check us out. Share our shit. That's what we really need. We need some shit shared. Thank you, guys. Appreciate you both.
Same to you, sir. Same to you.
This is the Outlaw Apostle Podcast. I'm your host, Troy Neff. I'm the fucking guy.
Who knew I would make it this far? They hated, they never believed. Yeah, I would never drop the ball. I know I make it look easy. Yeah, Mayweather with the defense. I don't care what a critic got to say. I got them picking up the pieces. That to me, you really playing with your life. I'm about to come and run it all back. I'm the new era, about to snap back. You ain't fitting.